Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Bus. On this one, I'll be fitting an accessory that I think is a must-have for an old four-wheel drive, especially if you've turboed a factory non-turbo engine. So anyways, let's get into it. This is oil pressure and water temp, essentially just a dual gauge. So I already have one of these Trax dual gauges. The one I currently have in the Hilux already is boost pressure and exhaust temperature. So let's see what's inside this. Typical, we need our gauge. So should be able to see that. You can see it on the box. See, it's got the two. I don't like the look of a four-wheel drive having too many gauges. I think it looks a bit pox, to be honest. I don't know. They're not race cars, you know. They're made for going up hills and shit. So having like 4 gauges on the side just looks silly. So I just want 2 to keep it super simple, and then I can monitor these values. So gauge, we've got our oil pressure sender, so that should be nice and easy to fit. I kind of have an idea where we're going to be fitting that already. And then we have this. So this is actually interesting. We open this up. This actually is a power plug which we can daisy chain from the other Trax gauge I already have, and yeah, essentially we can just old gauge, new gauge, done. Don't have to run anything into the ignition again second time around. So there's that, and last but not least is the water temperature sender. So for that, I've had to pull so I did a electric thermo fan to go with my radiator, and to be honest, it just, as soon as I went through a bog hole, it just killed the whole electronics in it, killed the whole system. So yeah, so I've just got this back out. This is where the water temp sender is going to go, and this just replaces the top radiator hose. So this is how I had it set it up previously, so I'm just going to reuse it exactly like that, and happy days. So let's get into installing this thing. So first things first, I'm not going to get carried away with doing the pod gauge straight away. I'm going to figure out where I need to mount these oil pressure sensor. So if you look straight down there, right on the right hand side of the filter, we can see a oil pressure sender. So that's the factory one. That's the one that's meant to be putting a light on my dash if I've got no oil pressure. So I did have a comment in one of my earlier videos about this, and now I found it. So currently it's operating off Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, aka not fucking at all. So I'm just going to rip that out and put in the one from the gauge. Keep in mind, if you do have a 3L, you can also go over on the left hand side, cylinder 4. There's another one. You won't be able to see that, but there's another one left hand side, far back of the block. And yeah, so I'm going to pull that out, chuck a new one in, and then let's go. So I've gotten the factory oil pressure sender, you know, oil pressure light on the dash. So this does mean I'm not going to have the light come up, but I pretty much look at the other gauges all the time, so it's neither here nor there for me. I'll be looking at it anyways. So let's put the new one in. Here's the new boy. Just got to figure out what size that is, and I believe this one is one of those ones. So we can just pull it off, click it back together, or pull it off, screw it in, click it back together. Makes it a bit easier than, you know, trying to do it with a spanner, because I was never going to get it in with a spanner down there. Run into a bit of a problem. This is 1/8 BSP. This is 1/8 NPT threads. So I need to essentially just get female 1/8 NPT adapter and a male 1/8 BSP. Then it will just go straight in. So what I'm thinking, I might actually just do the radiator hose first, just because, yeah, and then I'll head off and go to the shops and sort that stuff out. Okay, so here it is. This is the bit of pipe that I had to install. So I actually hate that I have to have 4 hose clamps. It looks so messy. It looks disgusting. I am going to replace them all for black hose clamps if I can find some. The sensor is all in now. Just put it here, and I've just run this down under all the way to the throttle cable, and I haven't cut the cable ties yet. And I've kept it completely off any piping or off the rocker covers. Now I'm just looking at the, not looking at, I've already run this wire down here too. I haven't gone to get the sensor yet, or the adapter yet, and then I've just run that in through to the firewall back here. Also, while I was here, I decided I'd start to mount the other gauge in. So I've already got, that's the coolant. Down here is the oil pressure, so coolant, oil pressure, and then I'm just going to use the link off the back of this one, and then put the other one in and get it all plugged in and ready, and then I'll just go get the adapter. So the one, see those 2 plugs at the bottom, the one on the right is the one I've got into the ignition. Now all I've got to do to get the link going is plug this into the left and then run it into the other gauge. Plugged in, ran out through the back. So here him is. So if I pull that in, get him all set back up. It's fucking miserable. Look at the rain. Anyways, I've wired it in. Before, the water temp sensor wasn't coming up. That's just because the wire that they provide is dog shit. It's very short. So this one here, there's one that's super tight, super tight, and it's yeah, got fuck all slack. So if we turn that on, there we go. We've got the water temp. Just got to go get that adapter. So about an hour and a half later, finally have an adapter. I had to go to Autobarn. They said they had it in stock on their website. Didn't have it in stock. Went to Napa Auto Parts. Didn't have it. And then actually it got put on from Napa Auto Parts. A guy there told me to go to a local place. You know how you got your local bearing places? Told me to go there. And voila, I was getting a bit sad because I wanted to finish it all today. So we are going to finish it today, which is good. So let's just whack this in, and then it's done. So if we see down there, there's the new oil pressure sender. All I have to do is, or sensor, whatever you want to call it, all I have to do is plug it in, and then there we go. If I've done everything correctly, we should get 2 values on that. Cool. Before it had dash on oil pressure. So let's just turn it over. There we go, 60 pounds of oil pressure. So there we go. That's what I think is probably one of the most important mods for an old diesel 4-wheel drive. Just being, you want to check it, you want to keep an eye on that oil pressure. You do have a dash light, but you can see as that oil pressure starts to drop. Coolant temperature, coolant temperature is a definite for a turboed, factory non-turboed engine. So I would 100% recommend water temp sensor and also EGTs. Like I've already got the boost and EGT gauge. But that's everything. That's it. That's the whole setup. So obviously I didn't have to wire into the ignition, so it saved me a bit of time. I was just jumped off the back of the other one. But yeah, that's everything. So I'm hungry now. So I'm going to go and grab some lunch. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.